What is 3D printing?
It's a relatively new technology that is making its way into the future. This printer makes three-dimensional objects like houses and organs, which are made by making a blueprint on the computer and sending the data to the printer. The printer then builds the model one layer at a time using the materials it requires. A brief history, 1981 to present day. 1984, the first time 3D models using digital data were created. 1999-2010, 3D printing was used to advance medicine. 2006, tried to build a 3D printer which would replicate itself. 2011 to present day, Irby was the first of its kind 3D printed prototype car.
Twenty 2016 saw the introduction of the world's first entirely 3D printed restaurant. The furniture, decor, utensils, and food were all completely 3D printed. The restaurant is called Food Inc. and boasts to be the world's first entirely 3D printed restaurant. The food is printed in real time in front of the guests. The 3D printed food is edible and was a revolutionary step forward in this technology. 3D printed food offers more intricate designs as it can print incredibly thin shapes which would be near impossible by hand, as well as greater speed in manufacturing large quantities of food. Additionally, it also offers meal personalization and the potential to exactly recreate a recipe. 3D printed food is set to become a commodity in restaurants, commercial manufacturing, and homes as well. Currently, the cost of 3D printed food is too high to become commercially possible. However, that is set to change in the future as many different ingredients become compatible with the printers.
L'Oreal, a makeup company, is starting to 3D print skin to prevent animal testing. In 2017, this massive makeup company partnered up with Organovo to engineer 3D printed skin and hair follicles. Skin cells are acquired from surgical waste or cell banks and then grown in large quantities using 3D printed technology. This new technology allows them to test their products without causing harm to animals and to move away from animal testing, saving the lives of animals while also creating better relationships with customers. It is estimated that they will start testing their products on the 3D printed skin by 2020, so in the next couple of months.
In the not too distant future, 3D printing will be essential for several industries, such as aerospace, automotive, healthcare, fashion, and most of all, manufacturing. Currently, 3D printers are able to print 40 to 50 times faster than originally and have become compatible with many new materials. It is now possible to get high performance, lightweight, and complex designs which weren't possible before, as well as products that can be made for a fraction of the cost. With automated parts, 3D printers can operate around the clock, which, when combined with advancements in computing and cloud connectivity, will literally create a factory in a box. This will drastically increase production, but decrease job opportunities, which will be a heavy blow to the working class.
Homelessness is a major problem around the world. It is estimated around 1.2 billion people live without a roof over their head. A non-profit organization is coming together to raise money to build affordable houses with 3D printing. By building three-dimensional models out of laying thin layer of materials in small quantity, houses can be quickly and cheaply built. Using 3D printing, the cost to build a 650 square foot home is around 5,000 Canadian dollars, which is much cheaper than compared to the average cost of housing in Toronto, which is $766,000. Icon co-founder Jason Ballard says 3D printing is unicorn technology. It has the ability to be more creative with a faster, better, and cheaper technology. The first 3D printed house was in Austin, Texas, which was a 350 square foot structure made in 48 hours. It costed around $10,000 to make, and which was made out of Vulcan 1, which is the first 3D printer made by Ballard.
In 2015, a 3D printer saved the life of Mia Gonzalez, a 4-year-old girl with a heart defect. Mia was born with an abnormality in her aorta, which is the vessel that pumps blood from the heart to the body. This was making it difficult for her to breathe. She was told she would need to have open heart surgery. However, the surgeons were unsure of how to proceed as she was so young. This is where 3D printing came in. The surgeons were able to print a 3D model of her heart, which allowed them to analyze it and come up with a plan to perform the surgery. It saved her life as they were able to perform the surgery successfully. Today, most hospitals have a 3D printer, and surgeons commonly use it to print out replicas of the patient's heart to help them perform the surgery.
Getting a heart transplanted these days can be a long wait until you find the right donor that matches you, which can take a long time to find. On April 16, 2019, Israeli scientists at Tel Aviv University made a groundbreaking discovery by creating the world's first 3D printed human heart. This 3D printed heart is the size of a rabbit's and is composed of all the necessary blood vessels, arteries, and muscles. They called it the first major medical breakthrough. The next step is to make the heart pump, and they hope that in the future they can make a human heart that is fully functioning. This technology will be the savior of many innocent lives and keep people's heart pumping in hope.
There is a shortage of organs for life-saving transplants all around the world. In fact, in Ontario, you currently have to wait up to 4 years for a kidney transplant, with over 1,000 people waiting on the list. However, in 5 to 10 years from now, 3D printing will change this drastically. Currently, researchers are using computer programs to print an organ layer by layer. The computer program makes a virtual image of the organ, and then using a solution of the patient's cell, they are able to print it. In the US alone, 900,000 deaths a year could be prevented by engineered organ and tissue transplants, and there has already been success with printing parts of a lung and kidney. Skin grafts are also a possibility. Unfortunately, this will only be available to a select few, since the cost of 3D printing an organ is very high. The majority of citizens will not be able to afford this technology. However, in the future, there is hope that solutions for the cost can be found. A large ethical issue surrounding 3D printing is the manufacturing and possession of illegal items. If people have access to a 3D printer, it's as easy to get a gun as downloading one. With materials and a plan from online, anyone can have access. 3D printing guns pose a problem since no background check is required for the buyer, and the gun does not possess a serial number. They can be easily smuggled through security, as there are no metal parts to make the metal detector go off. As 3D printing becomes more and more popular, this will present a large issue, as the guns are not detectable like a traditional one would be. In June 2018, Cody Wilson of America took advantage of this. He tried to provide free access for people to download the blueprint and has switched to selling them online, while the court tries to stop him. As well, there are no laws on 3D printing yet, as it is a relatively new technology, so copyright issues may arise. In the future, people might 3D print other artists' work of art, which would be difficult to regulate.
3D printing has a great impact on sports, with the freedom that it provides in terms of manufacturing, time-saving, and customizable equipment. It has gained footing in many sports, from car racing to football to cycling and even golf. Due to 3D printing, a new type of competition is emerging in sports to create lighter and more efficient equipment. Many car teams have partnerships with 3D printing manufacturers. 3D printed products have also been designed for athletes. An example of this is the Nike Zoom Superfly Flyknit shoes, developed by Nike Sport Research Lab engineers. However, in the future, 3D printing in sports can also cause many ethical concerns. 3D printing can be a very useful medical technology, but there are many ways in which it can be put to ill use. When used for human enhancement, it can be a dangerous technology, as it can give humans abilities which are greater than what is normal. For example, scientists speculate that bones can be replaced with artificial ones that are stronger, more flexible, and thus harder to break, muscle tissue that is resilient so people don't tire easily, and new lungs that can be implanted, which oxygenate blood more effectively. Many such enhancements are possible, which can help athletes to increase their speed, strength, and endurance. This brings in a whole new space for cheating, which is already a huge issue in the field of sports. Although Frankenstein-like problems may arise in the future as 3D printing poses many ethical issues, we believe the benefits of 3D printing greatly outweigh the cons. 3D printing has the potential to save thousands of lives through organ transplants, improve the standard of living with affordable houses, and transform the face of manufacturing forever. The world as we know it will soon cease to exist.